Hi, I'm Garm and this is Midgardia's cool crowdfunding show. I'm here today with Josh Patton. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing, Garm?
Oh, I'm doing quite well. So you're here today to tell us about Animo, so why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Animo is a Bible verse trading card game. You might think, oh, okay, interesting, and it is. We started back in 2017. We created this as originally as an alternative to Pokemon. Our kids were bringing home Pokemon and playing with them all the time and memorizing everything on the cards. And we thought, you know what, let's see if there's a Christian alternative out there. We looked around for a while and really couldn't find much that was what we would consider a quality game. So we ended up creating some ourselves. And 4 years later, we're here. We're about to release our third series of cards, and we're doing that on Kickstarter. So it's been a fun run here.
Yeah, and I of course looked at this and went, Christian card game, I bet this isn't going to be any good. And then I started reading and I was like, oh wait, no, this actually sounds pretty fun. And
we hope so. We hope so. We didn't want it to just be something that was a knockoff or a reskin of a different game. We really wanted to make it its own game. Make it so that it's engaging. We've really, in the last couple series of cards, we really invested in the art, and it's been we've gotten a lot of good feedback because of that. So we're excited to see where this takes us.
Yeah, no, the art is really good. Also, the name of the second expansion, Cross Trainers, is absolutely inspired. I smile a little every time I hear it.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
So what do you do in Animo?
Sure. So there's two Joshes. It's myself and my best friend growing up. It's us two, and then his wife is the third member of Animo Games. So I'll talk about the other Josh first. He wasn't able to make the show today, but I'll give you kind of an insight about what he does, and I'll explain what I do as well. So Josh Wagner is kind of the brainchild behind the company and behind the game. He was the one that really started making these cards for his kids originally. Put a couple together, not as an idea for a real game. He was just putting some cards together as an alternative to Pokemon. That kids were bringing cards into his house. And so he just gave them to them for Christmas. They ended up liking them so much and sharing them with their friends, and their friends came over and started asking for cards to be made. And so additional cards were made, and then pretty soon figured out that this is actually something that people would like. And so they brought me in. I'm more of the game developer side of things. I love games, love tabletop games, card games, everything in between. And so we decided to not only have the cards be engaging and fun and cute, but also bring a game into it as well, which is awesome because it started out as really a children's game or children's cards, right? Targeting them. But we found out that a lot of young adults and older adults have really enjoyed the gameplay. They like to play it not only with their own kids, but they're playing it by themselves and with each other as well. And so there's been a lot more competitive nature to the game as we've continued to add some additional abilities. So I do more of the business side of the company, handle a lot of the organizing conventions and accounting, all that fun, boring stuff that needs to be done so that we can let Josh Wagner do the creating, which he's so good at, designing these cards and doing all the graphic design. On the art side of things, he drew all the original characters in the first series of cards. Those are all his drawings. And we learned a bunch from the first series and did kind of a redesign with the Cross Trainers Series 2. Cleaned it up a little bit, made it a lot more clean in terms of design and features, and making sure that we're using the correct words and all the instructions. Words really matter when it comes to games. We found out pretty quickly. And so it makes it a lot easier to play now the way that we have set these up for the cards going forward. So he still does a lot of the original sketches for the cards, and then we'll commission the art out to professional artists to really make them attractive and make the cards really awesome. So that's kind of his role and my role. And Teresa does a lot of our communications. So she runs the social medias and does a lot of communications with our customers. We also do a Bible verse challenge every month, believe it or not. We pick a different character every month. This month it's Alpha Lux. This is from the new series of cards. And so if you memorize Alpha Lux's verse and you take a video of it, either tag us on social media or send us the video of you saying that verse, we will actually send you a free holographic version of this card that's only available through that Bible verse challenge. We don't sell those outside of that. If you're talking about any rarities, that's really where the rarities come in for Animo, is by saying those verses, and we mail those out on a monthly basis there. So she handles a lot of that process and doing that as well.
That's got to be really logistically complicated, but that's really cool.
It is. We really believe in it, and we really enjoy that part of the company. We want people to learn their Bible verses, and this is a really good way to do that. And so we've had some kids, and now adults are doing it now as well. But we have some kids that have said it all 36 months. They've said every single verse, and they've gotten 36 free holographic cards that nobody else has if they didn't say the verse. So kind of cool.
Nice. So,
yeah.
How does one play Animo?
Sure. So there's a couple different ways. The main game is really what we'll focus on. There is another quick and easy game. We wanted to have the ability to have a game that was set up for kids that were 4+, 4 to 6. It's difficult to get kids to play games at that age, and you really have to make it easy to do. So we have another game. It's called Hide 'Em in Your Heart, where it's kind of like a draw and swap. If you've ever played the card game Golf, it's kind of like golf, only in golf you're trying to get the lowest score. In Hide 'Em in Your Heart, you're trying to score, and you're swapping out cards and doing some things like that. Really simple, easy to learn. It's fun, but it's a kid's game. So our main game is what we call Sharpen Your Sword. And Sharpen Your Sword, the main theme is that you are basically revealing sin to your opponent. So we have different cards. We have either virtuous Animo cards, or we have these sinny cards. You can kind of see one here. This is Nash Tree. And this one is Fear Crow. And so these cards are revealed to your partner. So your deck is made up between 50 and 60 cards. And in those cards, you have virtuous Animo. You have these sinny cards. You have equipment cards that can be attached to virtuous Animo. You have story cards, which allow you to kind of manipulate the deck or do some different things with combos. And then you have power cards. And during the gameplay, what you're doing is you're pulling power cards from your deck, putting them into your power pool, and then you are activating your virtuous Animo to either attack the sinny cards that your opponent is revealing to you. So if I'm playing and I draw a sinny card and my opponent is not facing one of those, I would reveal that to my opponent, and they would have to defeat that sinny card. So Nastri has a defense of, 10? I'm sorry, 16. That's a really strong one. So they would have to have more than 16 virtue points to defeat that sinny. And once they defeated that sinny, then anything above that, they would go straight to their virtue points. So the first to defeat either 6 sinnies or the first to score 60 points is the winner. The third condition is if you deck out of your cards, if you're not able to draw back up to 5 on the draw phase, then the opponent would win as well. So those are the 3 win conditions for the game. It's pretty fun. It takes anywhere between 15 to 25 minutes for a game, depending on the types of cards that are being used. We have set decks that we packaged up and sold. We've done all the play testing and balancing for those set decks, and they're pretty competitive against each other for all the different set decks that we have. But the real fun part, like any trading card game, is really customizing your own deck and pulling cards from different packs and from different cards from different decks, combining them together to create those really fun combos that are powerful and really make it tough for your opponent to win that way.
Yeah, and each of the cities provides a constraint to whoever it's applied to, right?
It does. Well, some of them do. So some of them have actions or abilities. Nastri is an ultra, and so it's just a really strong one, right? 16 is a pretty strong defense. Like Fear Crow right here has a action. Fear Crow's action is choose one animal from your opponent's small group. They must shuffle all growth stages from that animal back into their deck. So there's some nastiness that happens when a Cine card is revealed. There's something that happens bad that you have to deal with those consequences when that happens there. The fun part about it is there again, it's a Bible verse trading card game. It doesn't happen all that much, but the more we get into competitive play, we'll probably see this more and more. Each Cine card will have a weakness on it, and a weakness is going to be a different virtuous Animo. And in the gameplay, if you know the verse of that virtuous Animo and it comes up in your hand, then if you hold it up to your partner and you say that verse, then you automatically defeat the Cine that you're facing without any sort of activation cost. So it can be a nice bonus, especially in competitive play. It's a really, really strong way to defeat those Cine cards and to score points that way.
Very thematic as well, yeah.
Yeah, right.
What are growth stages? You mentioned those.
Yeah, so growth stages are we have various different Animo that have different growth stages. Usually it's level 1, level 2, and some Animo even have level 3. And typically the level 1 card will either have a high cost restriction or a really low virtue points. One or the other, or maybe it doesn't have any sort of action or ability to it. So it's kind of almost like a common card, if you want to call it that. But oftentimes you'll be able to grow that to the next level, and you'll be able to grow it to a level 2. And level 2 typically is a lot stronger, or is easier to activate, has a less cost, or maybe it has a really strong action or ability. And then level 3 cards are typically really, really strong. And in order to level up, you first have to either have the first level into what we call our small group, which when you pull your cards, when you draw your cards, you're allowed to place 4 different cards down into your small group. And those are the ones that you're actually able to activate during your turn. There are some story cards which allow you to skip some growth stages. There's some we have what we call truth seekers. Everyone starts out with a truth seeker. There's 8 different truth seekers in the cross trainers, and we have 6 new ones that we're releasing in the new Red Letter Day edition on our Kickstarter. And so each of those truth seekers is going to have either a different win condition or a different action or ability that you're able to use once per turn, or something, whatever that says on there. You're able to utilize that during the game to help you out with that. And some of those are, skip a growth stage, or search your deck for a lower stage. If you have a level 2 in your hand, then you can go back and pull that level 1 out, so you can quickly grow up to that level 2 or level 3. That's really powerful and help you with those combos.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
So what does the new expansion, Red Letter Day, add to the Animo universe?
Yeah, so it's a lot of additional cards. So each of our series, we started out with the original cards. They had 144 cards in the series 1. Like I mentioned, we cleaned up a lot of the art and tightened the language on the rules and everything for Series 2. Going forward, we're probably going to phase out Series 1 cards, especially if we're talking about for tournaments. So it'll be Series 2 going forward for those. And there's an additional 141 cards in the new Red Letter Day. This is the review copy that we have. So there's going to be 2 new decks that are set decks, and then we'll have booster packs that go along with that too. So there's going to be 141 additional cards. They focus in on the different kinds of Animo. In the Cross Trainers version, we had 2 decks. We had Draylight deck, and the Draylight deck focused in on the Holy Spirit type Animo. And then we had Stagnetic, which focused in on love and faith. And so in the and this is called the Free Shell deck. In Red Letter Day, it's going to focus in on the Holy Spirit and love. And then the Percy deck is going to really focus in on the kinds of Animo of hope and faith cards. So there's a lot of hope cards in there. You can see the yellow cards are the hope cards, and then the faith cards are going to be the blue bordered cards. So we have a couple different types of Animo, and then we also have universal Animo as well that can kind of be used as like wild. So any of the powers that are pulled can be used to activate those Animo. So it's a little bit different strategies combined. It adds a lot more abilities and actions. And it's a lot of fun to combine with those Cross Trainers cards to just have a ton of new combos available. So makes it a lot more fun that way. We're not adding any new rules, any new mechanisms for this series, because it's still within the Series 2 cards. But they're just meant to really enjoy having additional cards there. The Cine cards in the Red Letter Day were purposely really, really strong, because as you add additional actions and abilities and combo situations, we wanted the Cine cards to kind of combat that, kind of nerf the power that was being able to be created with these really strong decks. So the Cine cards in Red Letter Day are a lot of fun. They really can put a wrench in someone's plans if they're trying to build a really, really good combo deck here. So it's kind of fun that way too.
Yeah, for sure. I like Nastry.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
The art for the Cines is wonderful, honestly.
Yeah. Yes. It's I love the Cines. They're some of my favorite. Here's another one. This is Hippo Critter. So Hippo Critter's sin or hindrance is hypocrisy. Kind of fun art with that, kind of helping out with that. And Hippo Critter's ability is as long as this Cine remains active, the actions of your opponent's virtuous Animo have no effect. So that makes it really difficult to do what you want to do with that. So it's kind of a little bit more of a take that combination if you wanted to build your deck that way.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess the other big question is, what is an Animo?
Yeah, so Animo is a fictional character, right? You don't find any hookworms in the Bible there, right? These are, or here's Bisbee, right? There's no Bisbees in the Bible. So these are fictional characters. The theme of Animo is that we're down 100, 200 years down the road, and all Bible knowledge has been lost. There's really no knowledge out there, and the elders, again, fictional world we're talking about here, right? The elders taught these virtuous Animo different Bible verses, and they've held on to these secrets. And now you play as one of the truth seekers, and you're trying to uncover these secrets from the Bible. And again, you're kind of the the theme of the game is kind of good versus evil. You're attacking these cities with the virtuous acts that you have there to do that. So that's kind of the overall theme that we're bringing into the game, and we're doing more now as we grow and as we kind of figure out what we're doing as a company to bring more of that theme into this. If you watch our video from the Kickstarter, there's a fun. It's only a minute long, but it kind of really brings in the theme of the game into play. So we're trying to do that more and more.
Yeah, for sure. Are there any other aspects of Animo that you'd like to highlight while you're here?
The Bible verse challenge is a lot of fun. Here, I think I showed you Bisbee. This is one of the examples that we do. If you look in the lower right hand corner, you can see this little BVC logo. Again, that's only available to anyone that's participating in that Bible verse challenge. We're trying to do more and more with some tournaments. Obviously, COVID's kind of thrown a wrench in getting together and playing, but there's a lot more people that are playing over Discord or Zoom meetings or things along those lines. And as hopefully as things open up, we're going to be really concentrating more on some competitive play. We did attend a couple music festivals last year, and we're already in talks to potentially put together some sort of tournaments when people get together in those types of scenarios to start having some competitive play and really ramp this thing up that way. So we're excited about it. We love what we're doing, and we can't wait to and we have 4 or 5 additional series of cards that we've already kind of planned out. The characters haven't been created, but the themes have all been kind of decided about what we're going to set up. So we're excited about where this is going to take us.
Well, I look forward to seeing those.
Yeah.
And hopefully as everybody gets vaccinated and things start opening up,
yep,
we'll be able to go back to that kind of thing.
Right. Someday, right? Someday.
Someday, yeah.
So our Kickstarter for Red Letter Day is live. I'd kick myself if I didn't say anything about that, but it's live right now. I think we have 5 days left in that Kickstarter. Just search Animo Red Letter Day and Kickstarter. You'll be able to pull it up real quick. Take a look at that video. I think you'll really like it. We've had some really good feedback from that. Whether you're a Christian or not, there's a lot of non-Christians that have really enjoyed this game and the gameplay. You don't have to know the Bible verses. You don't even have to read them if you don't want to. It's a lot of fun for both Christians and non-Christians to play. So I recommend you taking a look at it and seeing if you like it.
Yeah, and the link will be right there in the description, so go take a look at that and check out the video and all that fun stuff.
Cool.
Well, Josh, it's been lovely having you on.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Garm. Really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And those of you watching at home, have a good night.